Okay. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's episode. Yes, Carlos?
No.
No. Yes. No. Okay, well, today's episode is about Sir Carlos.
Well, it's the question, does having a mainline hero in a TV show diminish their popularity or importance?
Yes, and I would like to start off with Cruz about that. Cruz.
Because he's the one who came up with it, but couldn't say it.
Right.
You didn't let me say it.
I was like, how do you say it? I was like, I'm not going to say it.
I said that with half a mouthful of pizza.
Right? Impressive. How's that good with A sauce? A1 steak sauce? Is
Yeah.
this good?
Yeah, it's good with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
A1
Like
goes
pizza
good.
with ketchup.
By the way, everybody, this week's pizza is Domino's, of course. Today is, we also have meat lovers. No, actually, pizza pepperoni.
Yeah.
It's pepperoni in your mouth. Have some. Okay, but yeah, Cruz, you brought up this question, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
Where were you inspired?
Recently I was reading some articles where CW announced that they're going to do a new Lois and Clark show. Mm-hmm. So I was reading some of the comments of the viewers, and one of them said that having Superman on TV cheapens or belittles his character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I was thinking, how does it cheapen the character? Wouldn't it be better to have more of Superman than just a movie?
Okay.
It's like, if you have more Superman TV, that's like a new issue, a comic book issue every week.
Yeah.
So you would rather have more of the hero rather than less?
Yeah.
Are you have they not watched Smallville? Did they not see Smallville?
Smallville, The Adventures of Lois and Clark, the George Reeves Superman. Superman's been on TV since the 1930s.
Yeah. Why now, right?
Or why complain now?
Yeah. But
To be fair, I kind of got to take a side a little bit.
okay. What? Whose side?
That random commenter.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, shoot, Cap.
Well, not entirely, because I do get Cruz's point,
You
but
don't want to get beaten by a blunt object, obviously.
I have it right there.
Oh,
Her
hey.
name's Lucille.
I think it all depends how you do it.
Okay.
Because Smallville, I think that did cheapen Superman.
I agree on that.
Because if you're just
I'm talking about just in general, like the look of it.
yeah, but for example, I'm gonna the Arrowverse that crossover, the Superman, I think that they did it right because they were actually using
Which one?
Superman, both Supermans.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually using the Superman.
Yeah, they had two Supermans.
What about the Smallville one?
He wasn't Superman.
He didn't count.
He didn't count. He was just Clark.
He was
Kent.
just Clark.
It
Yeah.
was a fluff.
He was a
But
fluffy.
they actually used the hero, like you saw them flying, you saw them doing
Fighting,
their thing.
duking it out.
But in Smallville, they only used the essence of it. They just teased you with his name, or like in Titans when they just teased you with Batman. They never actually used him. I think that's what cheapens the heroes.
Yeah.
So Titans cheapens Batman, Smallville cheapens Superman, all
Would it
that.
be cheapens, or it's just they can't use them because it's too expensive?
Oh, it's their own character.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they show that they can use them.
Yeah.
I mean, they could take the money from Starfire's hair dye budget and put it into Batman's costume.
Right? That's a lot of hair dye.
That's a lot of hair dye, yeah.
I get it. You're an alien.
She has red hair. Either she's Irish or she's an alien.
It's just an
And she's
alien.
black, so I'm not gonna think she's Irish.
Okay, but let's say, okay, I get your
She's
point.
exotic.
She's
But-
exotic.
Like the Flash is doing really good. Does that worsen his character having him on TV?
Well, again, they're using the Flash. For example, when they
Yeah,
had
they're
that,
actually having a show about
yeah,
the Flash.
when they had that crossover with what the fuck is the name of the guy from the movies?
Which one? The
Is that how? What movies?
there's like a bunch of them.
You know the from the Justice League. You know the
Oh yeah, the Flash, the other Flash.
Yeah.
Ezra, right?
Ezra, yeah.
Ezra.
It wa- like I
Ezra
thought
Miller.
the way they used him cheapened him. It
Why?
cheapened
How?
that Flash because they were like, "Hey guys, see, he exists. We're gonna have him." Now, if they had used him, I think that would have added to
But
the
they did
character.
use them.
No, they didn't. They just showed him, and they were like, "Oh, hi, comedic dialogue."
Yeah, but they
Fine.
explain what happens to him. They explain why. He came out. Flash is like, wait, I'm buried. Wait, that's not possible. I'm
That's
buried
not
too.
using him. That's just
And then they're like,
that's just
"Well, don't
throwing
you
Just
know-
him.
made a cameo basically.
Don't you know about the multiverse? And then it's like,
No,
What?
he didn't tell him at all. He
They-
told him,
they
don't you know?
didn't-
Didn't you know
they
about
didn't
the
use
thing?
him. They just showed him. They didn't use him. He said a few funny lines. It was a comedic moment. It was cute, but overall, there was nothing to it. It cheapened that character.
I mean, it did have them talking about it. I think a lot of people's interest came. I'm assuming they got a lot of people watching the next episode after that.
Yeah,
right?
like it got people. It gets views, but that's it. But
How does it cheapen them?
okay, could you have replaced that guy with anybody else? Anybody else could have delivered that dialogue, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
I think
To
the
me-
reason it changed is because he was an actual like in the
Yeah,
last
It was
of
an
the-
actual.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't cheapen that.
You could have had.
But this could affect also the mainline movies, because in the movies he never went by the Flash.
But you swear like they're gonna have in the next Justice League him going.
Why
"Well,"
not?
But you, like you swear.
Okay,
be
okay,
honest.
okay. What if that does happen?
What if
Like,
it does
if it
happen?
doesn't happen, then your point of him being in the thing
Yeah,
this
but
didn't matter.
that would,
Yeah.
but that would be
But
hypothetical.
then he's like, the Flash. What's the Flash? And,
No, but he's like, oh, like he likes
and
that.
then,
name.
it's like, oh, okay, the Flash. And then when he does
No,
it,
I think he likes the name. Like,
Yeah,
I think
and that's what he's
not
gonna-
because he's like, oh, I get your name. He's
yeah,
like, I
and
like
that's
that
where
name.
he's gonna take it and use it for.
We don't know that.
We don't.
yeah, we
Did
don't.
you
we
write
don't,
it?
Yeah.
I didn't write. But hey, but come on, they did it for a reason, and then
What was that reason?
I don't think the reason is just gonna be for just a small, quick
I
cameo.
think they did for the reason. I mean, for at the moment right now, the way how
And then they even
DC's been kind of like using all their characters, I think they just used it for that.
I think they've used it to fix it.
Fix what?
The movies. Now they can go back. Oh well, because of this happened, this all happened now.
But in terms of the show,
Wouldn't
in
that
the
make it-
show, did that add anything to the story? Did that add anything to
No,
that Flash?
I didn't add anything to that. They didn't add anything
so
to
they
the
just,
TV
so
series.
they just used him as a plot point, and that cheapens him.
But that plot
Like,
point could
Superman-
go. That plot point could go into the movies.
But we don't know it will. It's
But
all.
we,
It's
yeah,
all. It's all.
yeah,
It's
we
all-
don't know, but
But while at the other side, that Superman that they used, Brandon Routh Superman, they used him properly. They didn't cheapen him. If anything, they added more to his story.
They cheapened him because
If
they
anything-
killed him.
If anything, they actually only had the reason they didn't like cheapen it because they actually had the actor working for them.
Yeah.
I think they cheapened the Superman from Superman Returns. Like
Yeah,
Brandon
because they
Routh.
killed him.
I think they cheapened a lot of them. Like they got certain actors that played things like Bruce Wayne, Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne, but like they didn't really do anything. A lot of people expected Crisis.
They expected.
Heroes coming out and,
and
getting down.
And they named it Crisis.
Yeah,
on,
they
I mean,
literally did like how Civil War did. Like one of my biggest arguments. You get Civil War, and I get it. I've said it before. You get things from the book, and you take a little bit. But you had such a
You're
big
expecting hundreds of heroes going at it.
Yeah.
In your mind, when someone says
expectations.
when someone says Civil War, you expect that.
In general, even when you hear Civil War, right?
Well, I pictured Abraham Lincoln leading the Union.
Right,
to
and how
victory.
many is the Union? Was there like 4 people in the Union?
Exactly.
So forget you and Civil War. Anyways, rest my case in Civil War. I won that one. Anyways, yeah, Brandon Ruth, right? Is Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon Ruth.
I thought it was Roth.
Ruth.
It's
Change. Make up your mind,
There's
Brandon.
no way in Rock.
Make up your mind.
After you're done plowing Justin Long.
Yeah. Oh yes. Anyways, I feel like a lot of people are saying he got his ending. Like, what was the ending there? Like, I didn't even see it.
It was just dialogue.
It just shows him flying away and like, hey,
Back in his
salute.
original suit.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you didn't get an ending.
Like Smallville.
Okay.
They didn't get the ending they got.
This is where I was going at. They devalued him because he wasn't a center of attention.
He was just a prop.
He was the side. He was on the side.
Yeah.
Literally, Green Arrow and the Flash and whoever was still in the middle were the heroes. And I like that. Like, you get your own show.
If they make a Lois and Clark show, that would add to the Superman because he's the guy in it. But like if you're just using him as props, as just side things, that cheapens them, I think. Like it cheapens Batman when they used him in Titans. Like he was just there for a dream scene. You just cock tease us.
Yeah.
You're just cheapening him. You're using his name.
And I
You're
think
not
people-
using Batman.
I think people figured it out. They didn't figure it out after they're like, "What the hell?" That's why they ended up bringing Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Technically, it's Batman.
Yeah, most of the time he was a hallucination.
Right.
You're not using the hero. You're using his name.
By the way, speaking of people being used, Marvel Agents of Shield, they did such similar things, right? With Samuel Jackson, right? When they brought Nick Fury for like one episode.
They bought him for a few episodes.
Few episodes?
But it was just like Carlos' point, the Flash. It's like they just use him for a prop.
How do you feel about that? Like when they just kind of like do that with Agents of Shield?
When they, I like things like that.
Agents of Shield
it just means it's connected.
But is there really?
But
not anymore.
But we already know it's connected.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's not canon anymore.
Not anymore. They knew.
But
we honestly.
I
it's all connected. Is it though? Is it fucking Thor?
Continue.
like when they do little things like that, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, they have Nick Fury in the show. Cool.
Okay.
But it does suck when they're like, he's not physically there.
He is, but he is.
Like if you gotta use him right.
Yeah.
I like when they use them. Like, I give them props for Ghost Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider was a perfect example of using a character and wasn't just like a throwaway. Like, oh, hey, this and this. Like, he was, for a good season, that was his season, right?
Yeah.
Season 3, was it? Or season 4?
Season 4?
He was like a main
He was a main character, main story.
Yeah, and they used him. But, like,
then they botched him at the end.
When I'm saying about, like, Superman, they kind of just like, oh, yeah, you had your one episode. All right, piss off, mate. Like... Stuff like that. But, I mean, anybody else has any examples or anything to kind of... Gotham? I mean, I made like a little pie chart where I think Gotham did a good job when they stopped caring about Batman and they just went with all the villains until they started getting to the Joker and then actually turning into Batman.
Okay, I got a question. Let's say you have the Gotham show, but they just changed the names. This has nothing to do with Batman. It's just a cop show with crazy people in it. Would you still watch it? Knowing it's not connected to the Batman or DC universe?
But it does it have the same characters?
Same characters, but that's not the Joker. He's just a crazy guy. It's not...
I don't even think I would have heard from this show.
Exactly. So, would you say one of the reasons you saw the show was because you knew it was in the Batman universe?
Yeah, obviously. I'm a big fan of it. I mean, Gotham, and then you add all these characters. I mean, I was more, like, curious to the... Like, what's the end point? Like, is he gonna... Because I witnessed all these villains, and I'm like, dude, are they gonna be super old by the time Bruce gets to Batman?
Yeah, that was our issue with Smallville.
Yeah, they was gonna like, oh, he's gonna have arthritis in his hands. The Riddler. Riddle me this.
Edward Nygma.
He's like dementia. Dementia. Like, is the Riddler getting dementia? Like, what's the riddle, Riddler? What are you talking about?
Where am I? I'm an old man. Take me home.
Here's your pills, Joker.
James gonna be on a wheelchair. I still crush you, Batman.
I'd watch that show. Yeah. I would watch that show.
Yeah. The villain's just old as hell.
Like, I watched Birds of Prey because, obviously, Batman was in it, and then the first episode they kill him off. I'm like...
Did you continue watching Birds of Prey after?
No. After they killed Michael Keaton's Batman, I was like, I'm done.
Right.
Well, I mean, that was our problem. Without that hero, you're just using the hero's name to piggyback off him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think Daredevil and the shows from Netflix did a great thing where I think they did that in the first couple episodes in the season, of the first season of each one, and I think after that they just stopped caring. Like, they went and did their own thing because they were great.
And they didn't even use the heroes like the same way we're talking about being. Like, they used the heroes as world building. They were like, oh yeah, we live in a world where superheroes exist. Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah, and then after that they stopped and they mattered. They were the center of attention. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, Daredevil, greatest fucking like Marvel show, TV show I've seen. And it stopped being like like I said, the first couple episodes in the first season I was like, oh yeah, people are like that, but that's it. After that it grew on itself, and that's what I loved. It didn't do what certain things were trying to.
It didn't do what she was trying to do.
You can make a good side story without piggybacking off the main thing.
Yeah.
And that's my problem sometimes when they just use that hero as just. They cheapen it by just having it there.
I think if you do it justice by doing it like, having them either you're going to have him for a good long season or, have a show for him, then, okay, like, that makes sense.
Like if he's the center.
Yeah, like with Smallville, I did give him credit that they improved on Clark's history, like as a young kid, him growing up, the people around him, they made you care more. Yeah. Maybe later on when they do another show or a movie, and they talk about those characters, you're like, oh yeah, in Smallville, they were like this type of person. Even though it's not connected, but they still have a connection to that. Like when people read comics, you're like, oh, I love this character because of this and this. You see that in the comics, like, oh, this is why he's such a badass, But if you do them wrong, then I think that's you're right. You don't just put them there and just expect. Oh, like I'm telling you, CW, good job for you guys doing like putting all these world building. But you kind of like you kind of gave us the finger at the same time. Like, oh yeah, we have all these characters. Like we got all these actors back. Robin.
No, you didn't. You rented them.
You rented them. Yeah. You
like,
didn't.
Oh, they're gonna use Deathstroke in Justice League, so he's not coming out this season in Arrow.
Yeah, right? No.
I've won, but I've lost so much.
Yeah, that does get annoying when you do that. Like he was, but he wasn't.
He was in the show. Was he though?
Was he though? Yeah. Like,
then
like
after that,
the Michael Keaton Batman. Oh, newspaper. Look, he was there. He exists.
Catwoman got married to
This
Batman.
was Michael Keaton. Was he though?
Dude, even some of the heroes from their own shows, like I remember Doom Patrol, they show a scene they're all celebrating, and that was like from an episode,
From an
right?
episode
They
of
just
the
kept,
first
and
season.
then even the Green Lantern Corporate, like Cruz was telling me, oh, they're a part of the thing now, right? I read those, I was like, yeah, but still, they could even do their own, like they could even make a whole Green Lantern Corps, like they had to like use crop cut,
Copy and paste.
face, like come on, man, come on, honestly.
Seriously.
Yeah, and that does piss me off. I think it doesn't devalue them if they have their own, like they have their center of attention, and for a good one too. If it's such a big character, you can't just blow them off on a one season. Dude, when you have Superman and Supergirl, I was like, okay, Supergirl, you can leave now.
You're cute. You're cute.
Adorable.
Remember that time I told you like I watched the show? Why? She's cute.
Yeah.
that was my only reason.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you watch Titans and you saw Batman in the Batcave, Bruce Wayne in the back, all suited up as Batman, and he was cool, would you want to watch it?
I don't want the Titans. I want Batman.
You'd be like, fuck the Titans. Let's watch this
Titans
show.
who?
Fuck, 6 team members can't beat Deathstroke, and then Batman. It only takes one Batman to beat him. Fuck, I'm gonna watch
We
that.
don't need more evidence on why Teen Titans suck. I'm sorry, not Teen Titans. Titans.
Yeah. Or not, Teen Titans Go. By the way, Teen Titans Go did such a fucking lame thing where they like, oh, please watch the movie, and then there will be more of the Teen Titans, and then they just put them in the movie with the Teen Titans Go.
They're basically holding us hostage right
I
there.
hate when they hate their audience. Like, why do you do that? Why do you hate your own people? But any more you guys want to touch upon, or you guys? I think you felt like you said.
I think we got to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Also, I hate when they have like shitty CGI and stuff like that. Like
Watchmen.
Oh yeah, Watchmen.
I even
Manhattan looked. Dr. Manhattan looked horrible.
and black.
I mean,
I hate to be that guy, but yeah.
like I mean, I don't know. Why didn't you just make him blue? I felt that he was black.
Because, that penis is hitting the floor. He's black.
Black. I mean, honestly, like I saw that. I stopped watching the show after like maybe the first or second. I don't know.
That show made me feel very uncomfortable.
It literally was like, it's literally controversial.
HBO, thank you for not continuing.
Wasn't that like the comics where they were talking like he was talking when he made it controversial during that time? I'm assuming they're the Vietnam War. They were like, okay, that's a touchy subject. This one they did the same thing with I think race thing, and it was just kind of like,
No, I mean the thing is with the comic they did it right.
Yeah.
They knew how to touch it.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, we're touching it to say we touched it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's happening now. And do you think that the writer or the creator who stepped down, do you think he just kind of just figured like he probably was like getting like, hey, this thing's kind of like not great?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think that's why they left, and I think that's why at the end they're not going to continue with season 2.
Yeah, which
I like how nobody like people who hate it just hate it because of the show, not because of its politics.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, no.
It's like, no, you suck.
It looks nice though. The show looks visually nice.
The first episode, I was really impressed with how they world built.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that had me coming back. But then the rest of it, I was like, yeah, fuck you. Like, you're teasing the main character. Like again, back to our topic.
Yeah.
You're just teasing the main characters.
Yeah, like they brought the owl. What is it? His little owl. The owl
The ship?
Archie. Yeah.
Archie. They brought Archie.
Yeah.
And they just destroyed him in the first.
Hey, first of all, why did they have Archie? Like, do all police departments have this?
Right.
And if not, explain to me how this police department got Archie.
Watch the show. Watch the show.
Do they explain it in the show?
Because I did it.
I think none of us did. I stopped after second
I
episode.
stopped because
I went back and watched it.
I was too lazy to watch.
I busted a Birds of Prey. Once they killed Don Johnson, I was like, I'm done.
Oh damn.
I stopped,
The
and then
Joker's
when they
not here no
replayed
more.
it, I went back and saw it, and I was like, glad I didn't watch it. This sucked.
Yeah. So that's our question for everyone too. Do you think what is the question again?
Does having a mainline superhero cheapen them?
Yeah, on any platform, would you say? Television?
On television, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that was our episode of The Slice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. It's always great to hear from you guys.
It's always great to want to murder each other.
Yay, to murder!